Hello, YouTube. You caught me in the middle of debating whether this rabbit is in Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell's costume or a very more PVC leather orientated get-up. But enough about this filthy pup. I'd like to talk about balls. That's what I want to talk about today. Big balls, small balls, sticky balls. They're all sticky, I'm not going to lie. Every single one of these balls that we're going to talk about today is sticky. The game series that I want to talk about today, if you're unfamiliar with its balls, is the Katamari series. A series I absolutely adore on every single level. The visuals, the boxes, the music, the gameplay, the instructions, everything about this series just oozes funkiness for me. A little bit about the series. The first game came out in Japan, shock horror, and it also came out in America, but we over here in Europe got the short end of the stick and never got it. The game saw you as the prince of all the cosmos, clearing up after your dad's mess after he went on a bender and destroyed like all the planets in the universe. Go figure. You then have to use a katamari, as you can see there, beautifully drawn in crayon, a sticky ball essentially, where you would have to roll things up to create a new planet or anything like that. Absolutely funky, like the most insanely bizarre concept for a video game series in the world ever, almost. Let's not talk about Demolition Girl. Google that one, kids. Yeah, maybe don't, because it's got girls in bikinis. But anyway, back to the balls, because that's what we're talking about today. Like I said, the series, the game itself, the first game, never came out in Europe. But its sequel did. We love Katamari. I just want to go and shout out and say thank you to EA, because those are the guys who published this over here in Europe. So thank you very much, EA. A little bit of a side note, EA done a lot of things for us here in Europe. They published pretty much Final Fantasy 8, 9, Bushido Blade, Final Fantasy 10 and things like that. Those are the guys that helped a lot of really weird games get brought out over here, games that you wouldn't have expected, so thank you, EA. But back to the balls. Like I said, I absolutely love the games. Absolutely everything about them is just interactive, weird, quirky, and fun. Right down to the loading screen, which sees the king of all the cosmos just saying loading, but you can then use your analog sticks to move his head as it floats around, and then the other analog stick you can use to control the words coming out of his mouth. There's like everything on every single level of this game has a sound, something that you can do with it, something it will react to you on every single level. Like I say, the art style's pretty funky. Even like the instruction book is beautiful. Look at that. Look at that little horse. It's contemplating its own existence. Maybe. But you roll sticky balls around and collect things. So in some of the early levels, you start off absolutely tiny, and you have to go around rolling up paper clips, dominoes, coins, but then in the later stages and some of the other stages where you start off absolutely tiny, you go from rolling up paper clips and coins, toys and things like that, to rolling up trains, trees, towers. I'm going to think of all T words now. Trains, toys, towers, but then you end up rolling up, you know, continents, and then the planet, and then everything else. So it's pretty insane. And you go and you grow, and as it grows, the level grows and things like that. So you always play as the prince, or as you're going through, you can find cousins. Those are really weird, funky, strange people that you can play as. There is no difference in terms of who you play as, whether you play as the prince of the cosmos or one of the cousins, apart from what they look like. I'll come on to what they look like in a little bit, just so you can see that. But absolutely quirky and absolutely insane. There are some of the cousins on the back. There's the prince in green, and there are some of the other cousins. See, everything about it, the art style is totally bizarre and weird, and I have to go and shout out as well, the music is phenomenal. There is absolutely every single genre of music available in this. We go from rock, pop, jazz to standard J-pop and J-rock, swing, big band. There is absolutely everything in this series. But as I say, it's a series, so how does something like this keep going and keep fun and fresh? Well, it's just really chilled out and really fun to make your katamari. The next game up that came out was Beautiful Katamari. Pretty weird as it was exclusive to Xbox 360. Bit odd from a game series made in Japan that you would think they would prefer the PS3 or the PlayStation format, but for some reason 360 is where it's at. Yeah, it comes with a cheeky bit of DLC, so you can download some extra levels and things like that, and also goes for online multiplayer as well. Now, I talked about the interactivity of the games, and the online multiplayer is a really weird one, because when you're in the lobby, rather than it just being a boring screen with all the names of other people on, it is, you walk around an area as one of your cousins or the character or whoever you're going to play as. But you can play football, you can walk around in paint and paint pictures, and this is the lobby while you're waiting for the game to load. That's just really weird. It's one of the things that sticks out in my mind, that again, everything about the games really just screams interactivity, touch me. We'll come on to that in a little while. But what would you expect from a game all about sticky balls? So how do they keep it funky and fresh? Well, in the game, as you're playing, you have a set height that you have to make your katamari. It can be 30 centimeters, sometimes 30 meters, but other times your katamari is on fire, and you have to keep it going and keep it on fire by rolling up things like wood or anything else that burns, and it cools down if you roll up anything like a fire extinguisher or water or a fish, something like that. So they do spice it up by adding weird and different things in there to it as well. But katamari being absolutely amazing, you can't stop a katamari once you start rolling it, because you can take your sticky balls out and about. Yay! Me and my katamari, once more, sees you rolling your balls out there in public. Who wouldn't want to play with their balls in public? I don't know. The games, because with the controls of them, you use 2 analog sticks to roll your ball. So you would have to press forward on both analog sticks to move forward, or press forward on one analog stick while moving it to the left to turn and things like that. It's almost tank controls. On the PSP, it doesn't quite work as well, but it's still pretty cool and funky. So we have that one, and then, because when you're out in public, and you've got your balls and you want to play with your balls in public, there's nothing better than touching your balls. Oh yes, oh yes. Touch My Katamari for the Vita. Again, same kind of thing, but this time you can use the touch screen to roll your Katamari around and things like that. Again, adds another level of interactivity from a really interactive game series anyway. Shout out still goes to the music and everything else. Still phenomenal. And last but not least, apart from a mobile phone game which was released, the last games that's come out for the Katamari series is Katamari Forever. Here we can see all of the different cousins being rolled up by the prince. What a legend he is in a Katamari. One thing I do have to say about this, as I've been a huge fan of the games, it's a little bit disappointing because it's almost like a best-of collection from all the other levels that have been out on all the different other Katamari games available. You wouldn't think that it would make too much difference, but in actual fact, it does. And at this point, it's the game series is a little bit tired. So I would probably say this is for super hardcore fans or people who are new to the series that want to get into it. Like I say, best of collection, and I will leave you now with the king of the cosmos himself. This is the man who destroys the cosmos, and the person who gives you your missions and things like that. He's an absolute legend. The writing on him is genius. It's so surreal and bizarre, it has to be seen to be believed. Just please, for the love of heavens, play the games. They are absolutely amazing. So, I hope you really enjoyed the video, and I will hope that you will check out the games themselves. Give me a shout if you want to see any more videos. Hook up and shout out that I am on Instagram as well. Big King Badger, all one word. I'm out there on Instagram and pretty much all the video game platforms and everything else. If you type in Big King Badger to Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, I will be there. I hope you've had fun. Give me a shout if there's anything you want to see, and please, please, please let me know what your thoughts are on the games that you've seen. Take it easy, guys. Thank you very much.